Okay, so I was just scrolling through YouTube and I found this video. I'm guessing today, Brady Poppinga, he, I don't know, maybe he had some inside sources in New England that would compel him to make such a statement. But these are my thoughts on it, all right? And I'm going to lay them out flat and quick, okay? Do I think the Patriots have zero interest in bringing Brady back? No. Do I think that they want him to test free agency? Yes. And here's why. Okay? The same thing happened with Marcus Smart for the Boston Celtics. For anybody that knew what happened. For anybody that don't know what happened. All right? Marcus Smart wanted a certain amount of money. The Celtics, I don't think, wanted to give him the number that he wanted. So he went to free agency. Nobody picked him up. At least not for the price he was asking. Okay? They let him go to free agency. He did not get the market value he thought that he deserved. And they signed him for less than what he wanted. Which was more around the number that they wanted to sign him for. And I think this is what's happening with Brady. If Brady has a number in his head that he wants, they're going to allow him to go to free agency. If he gets picked up, great. If he gets picked up, great. If he doesn't get picked up, now he has to come back to New England. If he wants to play the 45, he has to come back to New England for their price. And this is the risk you run as Tom Brady. If you go to free agency, you run the risk of not getting signed by somebody, especially for the price that you want. Because I'm pretty sure nobody's going to pay a 43-year-old quarterback $40+ million or whatever it is he wants. Now, from what I understand, the Patriots was willing to give him 30. If I'm Brady, I'm taking the 30. I said in previous videos, do I think Brady deserves the credit to where no other superstar player in the history of the NFL has taken such a severe haircut to their paychecks for the good of the team? Yes, he deserves an inordinate amount of credit. But do I believe that he deserves to get paid in abundance for those years that he sacrificed? No. It's up to the team to give him that money. Now, with all that being said, let's get to it.
Tom Brady is scheduled to become a free agent next month, and although the Patriots could agree to a new contract with TB12 before then, it's starting to sound like the team would rather wait. NFL Network was reporting Robert Kraft believes Brady should hit free agency and test the market. We're joined now by a guy Greg might know, Super Bowl champ, Brady Poppinga. Brady, do you think the Patriots should still, pursue keeping Tom Brady?
Absolutely. The only reason why Robert Kraft said hit the market was so he can establish their value. But one fact is you always want to keep a good quarterback. It's not like you can call 1-800-quarterback. Bill Parcells is the one who coined that phrase. But this is what you're going to do. You're going to sign Tom Brady to a 5-year, $220 million deal. And the reason is because you want to have the title of having the richest contract, okay? But what you're going to do is you're going to structure it to where you pay him $30 million guaranteed in the first year. After that, there's no more fully guaranteed money, okay? Second thing you're going to do.
Why would Tom Brady play those games to have the
30 mil? That's a raise.
$30 million is good.
No, I'm talking about to say that I got the highest paid contract. At first I thought you were off your rocker, but I get what you're saying.
But listen. And the next thing you're going to do is you're going to give first-round draft choice to the Saints because the Saints are going to tender Taysom Hill first-round draft pick at the draft pick status. And so you're going to sign also Taysom Hill. And you're going to sign him to a 5-year, $100-some-odd million deal, and you're going to make his guarantees to where basically in the first year we have both Tom Brady and Taysom Hill on the roster. It's going to be equivalent to what you're basically paying Tom Brady or dedicated to the quarterback position pre-Taysom Hill. And the reason why you have Taysom Hill there is because there's two reasons. First, if you look at the Baltimore Ravens game this last year, if you watch Bill Belichick on TV, he kept checking his call sheet. He had no answers. He's like, I don't know what to do.
Because they didn't have video that day.
So, no, they had more than enough video. The reality is the NFL doesn't have an answer for a running quarterback. And Bill Belichick is always at the forefront, always wanting to do the latest and greatest. Taysom Hill be that guy. The second reason is if you go back to the late 80s, early 90s, Bill Belichick was with the Giants. The Giants would face the 49ers that had Joe Montana and Steve Young, almost frequently in the playoffs. And one thing that they would always tell their defenders is this: do not hurt Joe Montana. Why? Because they didn't have a plan for Steve Young. And the same thing would be the case with Taysom Hill. Is basically he'd be like a built-in protection, whereas if you're playing against Tom Brady, a smart defense will say, hey, man, let's not knock Tom Brady out of the game, because they're two polar opposite quarterbacks, pocket passer versus a runner. So you're basically setting yourself up to where you keep Tom Brady in the house, in the franchise, and if he does well, you can compensate him. You'll have that title of getting the richest, most lucrative contract in the history of the NFL. And then also you have an out that if he doesn't perform, you can get out of that. And you're not carrying his cap.
All right, let me push back on that. So,
okay. Real quick before they started, the one thing I gotta say is the way that he divided the money up was a smart way to go. When he first said 5 years, $200 million, I'm like, there's no way. But then when you break it down, you give him 2, maybe 3 years guaranteed, and then after that, it's all based on, I guess, performance. And then that's if he doesn't retire. And then you have what you said to sign Taysom Hill. Now this is my question. One, does Taysom Hill fit the system that Belichick has in place? Now I'm pretty sure Belichick can switch it up, but it's going to take some time to switch it up. There was not much that you needed to change when you went from Drew Bledsoe to Tom Brady. There is going to be a lot you need to change to go from Tom Brady to Taysom Hill. That's one question. Second question is, how do we know that Taysom Hill is good enough to be a starting quarterback in this league? I mean, because for the past, 3 years, 4 years, Taysom Hill has been nothing but a glorified, what do you call it? A glorified scat back. You know, he hasn't been anything other than that. How do we know that he can get behind center and actually play the quarterback position at a high level in the NFL? We have yet to see it. I don't know. That's just my question.
Tom Brady says, hold up. You're bringing in Taysom Hill as a backup? Tom Brady was skittish when Jimmy Garoppolo was drafted.
Didn't want him
Why
around.
would Brady sign up for that? He would rather have Jarrett Stidham, who he knows has no fear of overtaking him.
Because
why's Brady sticking around if Taysom Hill's over his shoulder?
See, Robert Kraft, he's a billionaire for a reason, okay? And he understands the dynamics of a market system. And the reason why Robert Kraft right now is publicly saying, hey, go test the market, is because Robert Kraft is looking at the market for a 40-some-odd-year quarterback, how he played last year, and he's saying that it's probably not going to be as robust as Tom Brady's thinking.
Chargers, though? Chargers just...
Yeah, but they still feel like, hey, we can get a deal that would be competitive or superior to any deal that's going to be on the market. And so when you look at that, and Tom Brady's going, he's going to hit the market, look at his other options. He's going to probably be like, I probably should stay in New England for two reasons. A, they're probably going to pay me a little bit more money because Tom Brady is more valuable to the Patriots than he would be to another team. And then B, staying with the Patriots is his path of least resistance to winning a Super Bowl. And if he's going to, Brady knows he's got 1 or 2 years left. He's not worried about if Taysom Hill comes in. He's worried about, hey, I want to end on top. And I like to get respected. I do believe he wants to be the richest quarterback, or at least have that title of having the richest contract.
How about he takes the road of Peyton Manning, who moved on, and obviously it was because of an injury or whatever, and they moved on.
Andrew Luck,
right? No, but I get that. But I'm saying he was able to go and win another Super Bowl. And I granted he wasn't that quarterback, and it was about the defense, but he won another Super Bowl with another team. For Tom Brady, there's a little something here. I took all these paid discounts all these years. You never paid me top dollar. I go somewhere else. They give me all this love. It's all about Tom Brady, right? I go to the Chargers or some other team, and I get a chance to win. Now I want to get.
But think about it though. Think of the structure of the Chargers
without Bill Belichick, right?
But think of the structure of the Chargers. Do you honestly think in a football world that, hey, I can go to the Chargers and my chances of winning are going to be superior?
And 2 years ago,
they got better weapons.
And they got a new stadium. I think the Chargers would be willing to overpay.
So that new stadium is going to get him over the top.
They'd be willing to overpay Tom Brady.
I didn't know that. That's pretty good.
I got a couple questions for you. Number one, I don't think at 43 years old, Tom Brady can carry so talent at the skill positions anymore. So even if you bring him back, how do you upgrade the receivers?
You don't upgrade the receivers.
See, people say so talent, all right? First of all, I think I made a video on N'Keal Harry, and I said, or if I didn't, this is my thoughts on N'Keal Harry. He's a rookie. He was hurt for a majority of the season. and well, not a majority. He was hurt for a huge portion of the beginning of the season, and then he came on late. And at that point, the offense was already struggling, and he had to try to find a way. It is hard for receivers when no other receiver is getting separation, no other receiver is gashing the defense. It's hard for other receivers to get open unless they're unbelievable athletes, incredible route runners, unless you have some Pro Bowl player on your team. When you have average to okay talent at the wide receiver position, they depend on each other to take some of the pressure off of each other. I mean, I'm not going to say Brady can't carry a team, and I'm not going to say he can carry a team. I'm going to say this. If you give him an offensive line that can stay healthy, that is really stout, and then you give him weapons that can get the job done, the running game was horrible this year. The running game was horrible this year. And you saw flashes from Sony Michel, but that was about it. It was nothing. The running game was horrible. I don't think that people take in consideration the variables that happened this season that put this offense in the predicament that they were put in. So, do I think Tom Brady can go to another team like the Chargers and turn that team into a playoff team? Yes, I do believe so. The Chargers is ridiculous with talent. If Keenan Allen can stay healthy, I think him and Tom Brady could do pretty great fucking things together. You look at Melvin Gordon. If they keep Austin Eckler, you got Hunter. What's his name? Hunter Hurst. You got these weapons. Mike Williams, fucking Travis Benjamin, and that defense. He would do damage on that team. But it has to be the right coach. The right coach has to be there. The right system has to be in place. That's the only thing I think that will cause Tom Brady to fail is the system. If the system in place isn't a system that he's used to, that he has to get acclimated to, he will fail. I believe he will fail. The only way I can see the Chargers thing working out is if they bring a coach in, like a former, if Josh McDaniels leaves and goes to fucking San Diego, which I don't know if he signed a new contract or not. But if Josh McDaniels stays in New England and it's just Brady goes to San Diego, unless they can bring somebody else in that can somewhat mimic the system that he was in. But Tom Brady is so well versed in what Belichick does, he could probably fucking create a fucking playbook himself and teach the shit to the team. But I don't know, man. Look, it's really hard, especially if Brady would have left. After if Brady would have left in his mid-20s, early 30s, late 20s, early 30s, I think that he would have been better off than leaving now. If I'm Brady, I'm looking for every opportunity to stay if you want to play the 45. But, it's whatever.
See, the thing about Tom Brady is and Greg knows this as good as anybody, you have to have the same eyes, basically, the same interpretation, the same kind of reaction to what the defense is giving you when you talk about the receiver to the quarterback relationship. So what Tom Brady's done year in and year out, he would work in the offseason with whoever wide receivers he had to develop that same perspective. Last year, he didn't have that opportunity. That's because they had a Rolodex of receivers coming in that they couldn't develop that chemistry. So all you got to do is give Tom Brady the same guys.
Really?
Give him a full offseason to be able to get on the same page. Yeah, they don't.
He was frustrated. He wants an
all-star
Antonio Brown.
I was with you all the way up until that.
Right.
For me, I think number one, the best situation for Tom Brady is the Patriots. And to your point, no team will value him more than the New England Patriots because of the level of success that he's been able to provide for that organization. So we get that. Number two, they definitely need to upgrade the personnel around him in order for him, I believe, to really entertain coming back and staying, which means he knows he's not the same Tom Brady he once was, so he's not going to carry the load. He's not the Tom Brady of 5, 6, 7 years ago where it was all about him and he could elevate the level of play of the guys around him. That's not the case anymore. He needs guys that will kind of help him out and elevate his level of play. Get him, not that he needs to be excited to play or that he's going to be elevated because of what you provide, but if you have a bona fide receiver and a tight end that I can count on on, dependable, that's going to be where I need you to be, that's going to make the catches.
You mean like the Chargers?
No, the Chargers, yes, but
So we're just ignoring the fact that the offensive line was drastically injured. The center, the key to that offensive line, Dave Andrews, was hurt. We're just ignoring all of this. Like, this is not important. This is the reason why, like, teams could rush 3 defensive linemen and put immediate pressure on Brady. This is the reason why the running game wasn't horrible this year. No holes, no gaps. Somebody even said it during a segment that they did early on in the season when all the injuries started happening to the offensive linemen. This is the first time New England had to, during the season, just dig deep into free agency to pick up offensive linemen just sitting there.
what I'm saying is the Patriots will value him more. And the culture will be different. And going to a different place, it sounds good. Trust me. I've done it. A lot of guys do it.
In theory.
It sounds really good. But when you leave what you had and it worked, and it works, and you've had success, and then you go somewhere else, you're not valued the same. So if you don't produce that level of success right away, you're expendable a lot quicker than you are with the team that originally you were with. So I just don't see him going somewhere else.
So Brady, if you're the Chargers, do you say, hey, we got a new stadium, we just lost the face of our franchise, man, we are hurting. Let's overpay Tom Brady. If the Patriots say $28 million, we're going $35 million. Should the Chargers overpay to bring in Brady?
Well, they're probably going to think about it, but they shouldn't. What they should do is they need to bring in Marcus Mariota and go full-blown down the direction of a running quarterback, because as we know with Anthony Lynn, that guy is connected to Greg Roman. They work together with the Buffalo Bills. As we know, Greg Roman's the offensive coordinator. The Baltimore Ravens implement that same offense and let Marcus Mariota do his thing. And that's, by the way, that's the problem with the Titans. They never let him do his thing. They basically drafted a Ferrari and said, hey, let's go four-wheeling up in the mountains. Okay? If you're going to draft a certain player with a certain skill set that made him, what was he, the number 2 overall pick?
Yeah, behind Winston.
Then build a system that's
and he had 4 coaches in 5 years.
And Anthony Lynn can do that in San Diego and turn Mariota into a star. But in terms of just absolute star power, shock value, hey, look at us. Yeah, signing a guy like Tom Brady.
I was going to say, as much as that all is logical and football logic, it really is. But it is a business too. And when you're not drawing people and you got a brand new stadium open and you don't have season tickets sold, I mean, there is a part of you that has to look at that and say, what is going to bring us the most attention and get people to want to buy tickets? And you say Tom Brady is joining the Chargers, jerseys go off the shelves, right? And people pick up the phone or go online and order tickets.
And you're getting Sunday night football games. You're getting all prime time.
Well, that's if they win.
No, but it's a start.
Getting Brady.
I get just a start, but at the end of the day, you still got to go out and perform on the field. And if Tom Brady goes out and looks like Phillip Rivers this last year, he's just off his rocker. I mean, he literally looks like he needs to be in a rocking chair. Then lo and behold, you know what? Everybody's going to be like, oh, this is the same Chargers. We're out of here. And so you got to have some sustainability.
How convinced are you that Taysom Hill can be a starting full-time quarterback? Because he threw, 6 passes last year?
I absolutely love a running quarterback. And the reason why I love running quarterbacks is because trying to defend them are nightmares. You know, I'll never forget.
And you love him so much that you're willing to take a guy from a team who pretty much was a glorified running back. That's all he was used for. He was a wide receiver, running back. They even had him on fucking kickoffs, kick returns, punt returns, stuff like that. The one position that he should fucking play, that he didn't play, was quarterback. And if he's so valuable, when fucking Drew Brees went down, how come they didn't think, oh man, we have this outstanding running quarterback on our team who does everything so well for us. Why don't we put him in at quarterback? No, they put Teddy Bridgewater in. The guy who got hurt years ago and pretty much been on the shelf for the last 4 years. No. Let's go with Taysom Hill. He seems to have all the characteristics that we need at quarterback right now while Drew Brees is hurt. No, they didn't go that route. Why would New England go that route?
Get back in 2010. We're playing against the Philadelphia Eagles. We prepare all week long for Kevin Kolb. All of a sudden, the Claymaker goes out there, knocks Kevin Kolb out of the game at number 7.
Oh, my goodness.
Comes trotting out on the field. We're like, we don't have a plan for this guy. And we were at, 20-3?
Yeah.
And he just ripped us apart. And because you have no answers. And we love to run man-to-man coverage. You can't run man-to-man coverage very well unless you have a spy against a running quarterback. So whenever I look at a guy like Taysom, what he did in that playoff game, if that doesn't establish that he can be a friend, because if he is their starter, if he started for the Saints, they're at least winning that playoff game.
If he started for the Saints, though, opponents are preparing for him.
Yeah.
Like you said, they're not worried
You
about
got to remember this.
keeping the starter.
In the NFL, they don't know how to prepare for a running quarterback. Nobody has
They
any
figured it out in
answers.
the playoffs.
See, and this is what I'm saying, man. I hate when people say that. There's no way to game plan for this. There's no way to game plan for that. Look at what happened to Lamar Jackson. Look at what happened to Lamar Jackson. I'm of the belief, and I've said this plenty of times, man, like in the league, in the NFL, when you go on a hot streak, it can last for a week, it can last for a month, it can last for the entire season. But at some point, they're going to figure you out. They're going to figure you out, and you won't be as successful as you were. There are plenty of one-hit wonders. I'm hoping Lamar Jackson isn't one. I'm going to say I'm hoping that Patrick Mahomes down the stretch has more of a impactful career. I'm going to hope, because the league will figure you out. They will find a way. And it caught up to Lamar Jackson a lot quicker than the Baltimore Ravens thought. And they made him look like an average quarterback. They will figure you out. So when people get on TV or people are standing up and saying, well, these running quarterbacks, they're so unstoppable. They're so hard to game plan against. You don't know how to game plan against that kind of speed. It's happened. Look at Michael Vick, man. Michael Vick, if it was so unstoppable, Michael Vick should be a fucking 3-4 time Super Bowl champion because he's so fucking unstoppable. Is he not? Randall Cunningham was the Michael Vick of the 90s. He should have been a multiple Super Bowl champion. Like, come on. So they're not unstoppable. You can stop them. There's a formula to it. You just have to figure out a way to do it. That's it, man. Like, they're not fucking unstoppable. And Taysom Hill wouldn't be unstoppable. I mean, what kind of delusional basket case would think that Taysom Hill, the guy who hasn't started half a fucking season in total at the quarterback position, will be able to fucking just go to one of the most successful franchises in the past 2 decades and start and be able to help that team get to a plateau that they've never been before, or have them play at a level that they've never played at offensively. That's bullshit, man. Come on.
RG3 got figured out?
No.
The Chargers last year and Tennessee this year.
Remember, Lamar Jackson's productivity broke records.
Oh,
Remember
right,
that?
right.
Yeah. The problem with the Ravens...
The playoffs, I'm saying, team.
Yeah, exactly. What happened? The playoffs are important. People act like the regular season of any sport is the end-all, be-all. And then the playoffs is just like, it's the playoffs. It's whatever. I like it when Patrick Mahomes last year threw for 50 touchdowns, 5,000 yards, and all this other shit. But in the playoffs against the New England Patriots, and I thought he played well, but he got blinked in the first half. Now, they went on a run, and this is what Patrick Mahomes is used to doing. They went on a run, but the lead was so great, they could not put up enough points to win that game. So, I don't know, man. You can't really judge regular season accomplishments and records and say that, this is what makes the player unstoppable, not their performance in the playoffs. How many rushing quarterbacks? I'm talking legit mobile quarterbacks, and I'm not talking about Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is a passer. I don't care how many times he scrambles out the pocket. He's a passer. He will use his arm first. How many mobile quarterbacks who are run-first quarterbacks like a Lamar Jackson, how many of them have made it to the Super Bowl, let alone won Super Bowls? Not many. So can we stop with this mobile quarterback shit?
The Ravens was deeper than the scheme. Andrews, their stud tight end, had a high ankle sprain. Greg, you can attest this. I like Greg sitting there because he kind of supports me. If you have a high ankle sprain, man, how quick you come out of your breaks?
Not too.
If all of a sudden the ball's thrown a little high and you got to jump off that right ankle, how high are you going to get? Not very high. And that was Andrew's problem. And he was the binky, as we call it, to the quarterback. You know, that's what, like we talk about Tom Brady, he needs that. But the reality is that's what was the issue, wasn't scheme.
Good stuff.
Bullshit. Okay? And if we're talking about Lamar Jackson's favorite targets, and I've said those tight ends for the Baltimore Ravens save his ass on so many occasions. But I gotta tell you, man, if Lamar Jackson's favorite target this year to me was Hollywood Brown, man, because that dude get behind the defense and you just lay one on him and he's fucking gone if you don't stop him somehow. I mean, his receivers get open. It had nothing to do with one player going down. One player going down, it had nothing to do with it. Tennessee went in there with a game plan wanted to be as physical as humanly possible without breaking the rules, and they were. And Baltimore couldn't deal with it. Okay? Lamar Jackson is not unstoppable, so we need to stop that shit right now. Lamar Jackson is not unstoppable. Patrick Mahomes is not unstoppable. Mobile quarterbacks are not unstoppable. But that's pretty much it, man. But to go back to the point that I was making earlier, Tom Brady, they're going to allow him to test free agency. And what it's going to do is going to set his value. So Tom Brady can't be like, look, man, I know it didn't work out in free agency, but I'm worth $40 million. But nobody wanted to pay you that. So why don't you come down to where our offer is and just take that, man? Because, I mean, at this point, that's where your value is. Because that's the only offer you're getting. I believe he'll get picked up if you go to free agency. He'll get picked up. I don't know if it'll be for $40 million. We got to see, man. But that's it.